Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Janelle. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the book A Ghost in the Throat by Doreen Negrifa. So, I have already tried filming this review and it got far too long-winded. I hadn't fully collected my thoughts. It's been a little bit now, a few days since I finished the book, so I feel like now is a better time. So what this book is, it's semi-autofiction where in modern day there's a woman who narrowly escapes a tragedy, and a poet from centuries before, she comes across this poet's work and starts finding correlations in emotions and wants to discover more about this poet's life and goes on this huge journey researching and digging through all in any archives she can find to patch together that woman's story. The author is a poet, and I believe I'm pretty sure this is her first book in prose. The language in it is beautiful. The writing style is gorgeous. At the start of each chapter, she put in excerpts from this poet's poem from the past, both in Irish and English, and the full poem is in the back of the book in both languages. The poem that she is fixated on is the poet told a story of finding her husband's body and dead body and drinking handfuls of his blood. So it is very macabre, for sure. It's very dark. I had extremely high hopes going into this book. I was so excited for it. I came across it online. I don't recall how, but came across it online. I went into a bookstore I'd been so excited to visit, got this book, have made it a beautiful memory in the getting of the book, and I started it pretty soon after I got it. I started it in the summer of last year, and I couldn't get into it at all. But I attributed that to the weather, because there was a period in the summer where it was actually quite hot for a while, which is not standard, but we roll with it. And this, as I said, is a very dark, I guess messy in a way, the mood, the atmosphere. Yeah, that's probably one way to put it. And it didn't quite fit, sunshine and birds singing kind of feelings. So, and I quite often find it easiest to associate the themes of the book to the weather I'm experiencing, which is probably why I read best when it is gloomy and rainy, because I tend to read darker themed books. It probably goes hand in hand. So I put the book down. I DNF'd for now, not forever. One of my reading goals this year is to narrow down my DNF for now shelf. There are plenty of books that I've picked up, started, put down for whatever reason, and this year I want to figure out if it's a DNF for now, genuinely, or forever, or just read the book. So this was one of those. It was really bothering me sitting on my shelf because I had picked it up again in the fall. Weather perfect for the themes I was anticipating, and I still could not get into it, so I put it back down, and I was under halfway through, and it was really bothering me. And I do think when you have those moments where you really recall the moment you got the book and the excitement and everything, that puts a lot of pressure on it, and it also makes it extra disappointing if it doesn't live up to the anticipation. Unfortunately, that's the case here. I am happy to say I think I'm the minority with this. All the reviews I've seen are 4 and 5 star reviews, with people saying this book has forever changed how they read. And that is amazing, because obviously it's a phenomenal thing for people to be excited about books. And I just really wish I could share that excitement. It made me very sad. unfortunately. As I said, the writing is gorgeous. I would definitely be interested in reading the author's poetry for sure. But it's so unique in how it's done and how it's written. And I think, in a way, because of that, quite often I felt like a lot of it was going over my head. Not that I didn't know what was happening. I understood this woman with a young family was going in search of this poet's story and going to all sorts of lengths to find it, and also having flashback memories of different scenarios in her life before this current season of life that she's in. But I caught myself scanning, and I wonder how much actually I was taking in versus how much was just going right through. I never wanted to pick it up. Never once did I be like, I'm in the mood for that, I want to read that right now. Like, that didn't happen at any point in time. While I was reading it, I was enjoying it. So it's very hard for me to come to terms with, I suppose, because while I was reading it, reconcile. There we are. Sorry. While I was reading it, I was enjoying what I was reading, but I never needed more either. I never wondered, like, oh, what's going to happen? Is she going to find more of these details? Is this obsession unhealthy? I never needed more. I would finish a chapter and be like, cool, that's me. I'm done. And I would put it down and I'd be done. Whereas I want a book where I'm like, okay, one more chapter. Okay, my eyes are burning. I need to sleep. Let's finish the book. Like, that's what I want. Not every book's gonna give that. I don't get that from every single book I read. But I really, really want to read it. And I didn't get that. I do think with the right person, this book could very well, like, completely be that book that blows their mind and changes how they view books, which are comments I was seeing, like I said. But for me personally, that is not what happened. There is a very large focus on motherhood, which I didn't know. I didn't realize that going in. And I can't relate to the emotions that our main character was feeling, because I'm not a mother as of yet. But that being said, I've read other books with mothers, and that's fine. Like, you don't, I could read a book with zombies. I wouldn't associate because I'm not a zombie. I understand that I don't have to completely relate with everything the character's thinking and feeling. But there was such a focus on it, I feel like I was missing out on part of the experience because I didn't relate. And I could see myself rereading this. Like, I was thinking throughout as I got further and further, I was like, if I was a mom at like a pivotal shift in different points of being a mother, I would probably gain a lot more from this book. Like, if I, at the point when the decision's made not having any more children, and it's, the having the kids part is done and it's the raising part next, that at that point, I feel like this book would be very impactful. I would be really interested if I would have enjoyed it more on audiobook. I did look for it on audiobook. It is available on Audible, but it wasn't available through my library, so I didn't listen to it on audiobook. But I wonder, because of the language and how it ebbs and flows, if I would have followed it a bit better. I think I had misconceptions going in, which are on me. I didn't realize it was semi-auto-fiction, so I think I was expecting a much more fictional story. And the author didn't fictionalize too much at all of the poet's life, out of respect to her, which I completely understand. But I think I was expecting more of like a time jump kind of mechanism in the book, where we're with our main character, and then as she finds things about our poet were transported back, you know, and watching this play out. But it was very literally stated. There was points where she didn't have the information and was like, I'm not going to fill the blanks, like, out of respect. And it was one thing that really intrigued me was there was a conversation in the book around women being erased throughout history. And this really solidified that. So I found that very intriguing. So I do think there's a lot of merit. There's fantastic things about this book. I gave it 3 stars and I felt very bad doing that. But I've been attempting this year to be very mindful of the stars that I give, because I used to give out 5 stars very willy-nilly. So I'm trying to be a lot more reflective about it. And when I first finished the book, I rated it 3 stars, and I was like, maybe it's a 3.5. But as I've sat with it, I'm like, no, it's a 3. It's a 3, which I still feel bad about, because 3-star books tend to be ones where I'm very much so like, meh, like, I wasn't impacted reading it or not. It would make no difference on my life if I'd ever read it. But I did learn stuff. I found quite interesting. There was like interesting like historical points. And I do think on a reread, yeah, at a different phase in my life, I would have a very different outlook on the book. But I do think I would try it again in audiobook, just because the way the formatting, not that it's like, it's not like it's multimedia or you know, like, it's all text. It's not like there's photos and all mixed in or whatever, but it's just the way, the style of it was so unique, and I feel like in a way that's part of what threw me off and had it so I didn't want more, need more, and I was just good with the little bits I was having here and there. Like, it was very much so, I am finishing this book, and why didn't I DNF it? I think honestly, I think I was too sad at the prospect of it. Like I said, I was so excited to get this book. I'd been wanting it for a bit, so when I finally got my hands on it, it was a very triumphant moment, and I am glad that I finished it, but even it's only a handful of days later, and I remember the last line, because I do like how that was done, but I don't really remember too much of how it ended. I'm pretty much already drawing a blank, so unfortunately I think this is a book where like not much of anything's really gonna stick with me, and it's sad. I'm just sad about it, but I didn't do the review just to, you know, make a bad like name for the book or drag it through the mud or anything. Like, that's not my point. There's things that I'm saying that I'm hopeful people watching will be like, oh, that wouldn't bother me. I actually like that. Because I've had that before where I watch book reviews and they're like, here are the negatives, and they're things I like. So I'm hopeful, because I really feel like this could be an incredible book for the right person, and unfortunately that just simply wasn't me. So if you're thinking that you would like it, give it a go, give it a try. Like, I recommend it, but I feel like it's a very niche recommendation, you know? So anyway, those are my thoughts, a little more concise this time. Anyway, let me know if you read it or if you've read it, what your thoughts are. And regardless, I appreciate you watching this video. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video soon. Take care.